I'm back. Hey guys, welcome to my channel, Watch Your Mouth Reviews. This is your boy James. I am here to give my honest review while trying to watch my mouth. And it for sure is not about to happen. I forgot to put the Real Housewives up. Let me go ahead and put their asses up here. Ugh. Y'all, I'm going to tell y'all now. To all my die-hard Portia Williams fans out there, I know I have them. This is not going to be a video that's going to be nice to Portia. I hate to disappoint y'all. I am so sorry, but we're not going to be nice to Portia, just to let y'all know. And joining me on the road session, which I know she gonna deliver, is my girl, Mrs. Best. Y'all say what's up to her.
Not you know I'm gonna deliver. I've been trying to be nicer. I hope everybody likes the video, shares it, subscribe to James, all of that.
Yeah, subscribe to my channel. And why y'all doing me that solid? Subscribe to Mrs. Best channel. Any reviews or recaps I do not cover on my channel, it's because we are on her channel also giving the roast sessions. Currently, we are doing the roast sessions for Basketball Wives effectively. Y'all can go check out those videos. Or the Valley, we try to do, because they, are nice little clear folks. We try to give them the most eloquent reads we can. Not really, but yes. So if y'all would love to see that and hear us talk our little mess, go ahead and subscribe to her channel and watch the playlist. She got them divided in all kind of order, which I plan to do on my channel at some point.
Don't make fun of my OCD.
Yeah, this is not happening right now. And then also subscribe to Shana's channel, y'all. Our girl Shana_MCD. Y'all, Shana be killing here on YouTube. We are trying to get her to stay on YouTube. She is currently doing Real Housewives of Atlanta, Never Ever Met, and also Basketball Wives. Shana has always embraced me, one of the first YouTubers to ever do it. So we wanted to make sure you guys go ahead and send her love, subscribe to her channel, and tell her James sent you, because she would then appreciate it and send me the love right back, as she always does. Thank you, Shana. We love you always and forever. So now let's get into it. But before we get into it, y'all, we got to have a talk. We got to have a talk. I want to first shout out Shani, because she always here first. I see you, my love. Trust me. We appreciate you always being here first. We're going to need you, co-host. We're going to need you to read her for filth in these comments as well. But Portia Williams on Saturday took to her social media page and decided to go ahead and let Shamia know of some things. And we're all confused. Like, what the hell just happened? Why are you coming at Shamia? So let's read what she had to say. So Portia Williams says, I'm going to just say this. I'm watching the new episode, Ask Shamia Morton. Now, don't take it there. Don't imply shit about Diane Williams. I've been keeping it quiet, and you can do and say what you want in me. But hear me when I say wrong road. Talking about, well, your mom thought my mom was a friend, knowing goddamn well what she did to my mom was highly egregious. Don't do it. Keep playing victim in that BS. Don't F with my mom.
Portia, that girl ain't said nothing about your mama. Actually, all she said was that the relationship with you and with her mom and your mom has never impacted the relationship that you two have with each other. If your dumbass could learn how to spell, open your mind and close your mouth in that other hole between your legs, then maybe she will be able to understand that. I hate black women that are dumb, and that is Portia. That's why she got Kempire blocked. She gonna block us all, James.
That's okay. She can block me. Portia can listen, y'all. Portia can block me. I don't give a fuck. Because at the end of the day, Portia, at the end of the day, that was stupid. And if you wanted it for viewers or for the show, you definitely got it. Because I was sitting here, and I'm glad Mrs. Beth said it first. I was sitting here trying to figure out what the fuck she said about your mom. I'm like, oh no, what did Shamia say? Oh
But
my
what did your
God.
mama say about Shamia? Your mama and her fucked up wig is on TV in the same weight that she's been this whole time. Lady ain't hit the gym in years and got something to say about Shamia, as if for someone her age, That's a child. Why are you talking about a child like that? You could tell that Portia's been taught to like kind of be a hater by her mom. Her mom seemed
Yes,
messy.
that's exactly what it is. Thank you for pointing that out because that's exactly what it is. Like, I want Portia to just confess I didn't want Shamia a part of this because I didn't want her life to outshine mine. Because y'all got to remember, Portia came on this show when she was still in her marriage. Because she had said Portia Williams coming back to Housewives of Atlanta. That's false. Now Portia Gubadia is in the building. Y'all remember she said that, right? So Portia thought she was gonna be Portia Gubadia and just outshining all these women. Lo and behold, the next week later, all this shit comes out about Simon, and then she files for divorce. So,
Thank you for bringing that up because a lot of people forget that. And that's why
mm-hmm,
people are mad at her. YouTubers like ourselves,
yes,
Empire. That's why people are upset with her behavior for this because you announced coming back as Portia Gubadia when people started to leak that the Housewives was finally filming. So anybody who's been married knows that your marriage just don't end overnight. So unless you caught Simon sleeping with somebody in your bed, I highly doubt that you went from Portia Gubadia to whatever the hell this is. She's a liar.
I'm trying to tell you, it was kind of like, really, Portia, really. So, like everybody else, I tuned in because I want to know what the hell Shamia said. So we're gonna get to that in just a second, y'all. So the episode opens up with Angela Oakley and her husband Charles Oakley. They go and have dinner on a rooftop, and y'all, Charles's behavior is so deplorable, and Angela better than me because it was kind of like, if you don't want to be on camera, sir, don't be on camera, or if you are going to be on camera, just be seen and not heard. Because Angela, this does not help your case here with this man. It just doesn't. This makes us look at you like, are you sure? Okay. So she talks to her husband about her sister and her mom, and the conversation of her daughter is brought back up with this whole situation with her sister and them cussing the daughter out for being disrespectful in the house that Angela pays for. So she said that she needs to have a conversation with her sister, but her sister is not really communicating back or not sending her, messages back. So Angela's like, I need to talk to my mom and everything. And we're brought up to the past about how Charles and the mama got into it, yada, yada, yada. It was really boring. But the thing I want to pay attention to is that Angela is saying that, that she doesn't take the disrespect to her daughter, lightly. She's very like wanting to get in her sister's ass about her talking to her daughter in a kind of way when she's living in a house that Angela pays for. So she plans to have this conversation, with her mother to see if her mother can facilitate this conversation with her sister. Mrs. Best, how did you feel that scene went with Charles and Angela? Oh,
I, she just shouldn't. She's one of those housewives. She should have done what Shamia and Gerald did. He shouldn't have filmed. Um, that's all I'm gonna say. He shouldn't have filmed. I love me some Angela Oakley. I do. I think she's a perfect fit for Housewives, but I also think she's the perfect fit in our eyes for how Housewives used to be, if that makes sense. Like I could have seen Angela with Nene and Cynthia and Sheree. I could have seen her blend in with them, Kim, like all of them. But this group, which just seems like a bunch of people who got, wealth and fame by chance, not by actual like talent or hard work, no shade. I don't really care for her with them, but yeah, I don't know, James. This marriage is a mess. We can only say so many negative things about it. Um, Charles is old as hell too, so we could say something negative. He might come across it online and make his heart flutter, and now he having a stroke. So, I don't want to say too much.
okay.
She shouldn't have him film. You can be a housewife without your husband filming.
I agree. And we want to shout out Naya. Hey, Naya, thank you for being here, my love. We appreciate you so much. So, I agree with Mrs. Best's comment on Charles. Like, it's like, why have him here if he gonna do all of this? Like, girl, you better off just not filming with him. So the next scene we look at is Cynthia. Cynthia goes out to lunch with Shamia, and it is the day after Portia's event. So Shamia comes in and she's still kind of in her feelings because she had told Cynthia that she had been crying all night and that she, really loves Portia. She really does, and she hates that Portia would listen to, other people that would put something in her ear like that. And Cynthia's like, well, what did you say? Did you talk to Angela? Like, why would she have that to say? And Shamia goes, I would never talk to Angela about that circumstance or anything bad about Portia. If anything, I shut things down when they talk about Portia. All they were doing was bringing up old things, and I just kind of say, yeah, that did happen, or no, that was not what was the situation, and basically answering their questions. Um, I feel like I don't believe Shamia. I don't. I don't believe Shamia at all. However, I feel like Shamia, if you did confide in something, I feel like you said something to Angela and Britt and they ran with it. And I wish you would just confess it. I wish you would just say, yeah, I confided into them about some of the things that I felt because you would have been valid. One, you're on a TV show and it's drama. Unfortunately, at the expense of your friendship. I completely get it. But it is 100% valid and it is for drama because you both are on the show together. And then two, you would have been well within your right because Portia has played you on the sidelines so many times that it would have been nice for her to get a dose of her own medicine. So I hate the fact, and I love this about you. I do. I love the fact that you are like this, but I hate the fact that at Portia, like it's because it's Portia. If it was anybody else, I wouldn't even be tripping. But the fact that it's Portia, I feel like no, 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 no. You do not owe her this allegiance like you feel you do. So the scene then moves on. They then, talk about Shamia bringing up that she was told that Miss Diane was saying, that Portia has to watch me. And Cynthia begins to question, like, why would that be? And she goes, well, I met Portia through our moms. Like, she said she was in elementary school when their parents were friends and they were best friends. And they showed old pictures of them, of Diane and Shamia's mom. And she said that, their moms had a falling out, but it never affected her and Portia's relationship. And the moms never got in the middle of that. So to me, I kind of feel like Shamia Diane definitely got in the middle of that because Diane keeps telling Portia to watch it when it comes to you. So no, she definitely is in the middle. It's just your mama's not. That's the difference. So even with that being said, if this is what Portia's referring to, um, Portia, I'm sorry. You don't have a case here, ma'am. This did absolutely nothing for you. That lady did not say anything about your mama. I feel like YouTubers have said worse about your mama than Shamia ever have on national TV where more viewers would see it. So, Mrs. Best, how did you feel about the scene between Cynthia and Shamia?
Why is Cynthia here?
Okay, with you.
I'm serious. I don't get it. Now, like now that Kenya's gone, Cynthia should have been filmed less. I'm still thinking of when Cynthia kicked the shit out of Portia on that boat all them seasons ago. And now she's sitting up here acting like she care about the friendship. Um Throw this fucking shit the fuck away immediately. Because okay, let me just comment on what I saw first. Shamia be bullshitting. Like I've been saying about Shamia. And I like Shamia. I enjoy Shamia. I follow her on Instagram. I like her for her talent. I think she's wonderful without Portia. But it's hard for her to come onto a platform that Portia basically brought her to us on and for her not to live in Portia's shadow. I do feel like being on this show like separate from her knowing what the fans were doing, just while filming it, everyone kept talking about she's Portia's lapdog and will defend her and all these crazy things before she even did anything too crazy. You can't go to someone's best friend and complain to them about their best friend. Like in real life, it really doesn't work like that. And in real life, Shamia and Portia were best friends and do know each other in a way that's different from the rest of these ladies. So Shamia has to take some ownership, in my opinion, because she has been complaining about Portia or even willing to entertain conversations. I would make it very clear, don't talk about my fucking friend in front of me when they not here. And if they ever did it again, I would get the fuck up and walk away. Like that's what most people would do in some form, or they would shut it down. Shamia has not shut things down the way that she told Cynthia that she has shut things down about Portia. All she said, really, if we go back to those earlier episodes this season, was, well, you need to address that with her, not me. But she didn't really shut anything down or defend her friend. Like you could say, I'm not going to talk about that, and please don't talk about my friend when she's not here. Or I would have called my friend right then and there. Shamia can do more herself, but doesn't. So I don't know. I just feel like even with talking to Cynthia, you're still talking to somebody other than your friend. And if you've known Portia that long and you guys were so freaking close, then why are you talking to Cynthia before you get to her? And why would you even think to go to anybody that you just met filming this show? I'm not going to talk about my friends. I'm not going to let anything out. No one would even know there's a crack within my friendship with James. If there was, I'm not going to go and then talk about that or vent to that to like other YouTubers that we both work with or something. Like that's weird. That's weird. So Shamia has to own that part, but Portia's also full of shit. So personally, I feel like they both gonna get what they deserve. But you know, Cynthia, find a new wigologist and hire a makeup artist.
So, Naya says Shamia be telling fibs, little white lies. I feel like, yeah, I feel like she's not being 100% honest. I feel like, to me, yeah, Angela and Britt could have watched the show and kind of pull apart that this is a reason why you and Portia could have friction. But once again, you've had to have said something more because that shit they pulled up was old, if that's the case. And I wouldn't feel like that was enough validation because then you would say, we're not going to talk about that because that happened years ago. I done forgave her. We done moved on. Yeah. I
I
feel
don't
like
think
there's
it was something more because if it was something more that she said to them and then they went and told Portia and like stirred up all this shit essentially, I think Shamia would have been more upset with them. But the fact that she's not, and Portia's pretty simple, it don't take much for her to act betrayed, especially when she ain't got a storyline. Of course she gonna cling to this.
Yeah, absolutely. We're gonna get to that in a minute because that was a performance if I ain't never seen one in my life. Portia ain't got no storyline and Cynthia tumbling down the wrong road. Absolutely. Portia doesn't have a storyline. I want people to realize this. Portia has no storyline. We saw the pamper by Portia. Congratulations. I think sheets are beautiful. We
But
saw
she's been had those sheets.
exactly.
We watched her launch those sheets seasons ago. I don't want to see that no more.
Yeah. And we're getting very small details about her marriage with Simon. We're getting very small details. She keep giving us the same recycled shit. So it's just I don't know what else to say about that. But I think the reason why I feel like Cynthia's working for her peach at this point and realize that maybe she's not about to get it. So because they don't know until after they're done filming who makes it on the main cast and who doesn't. So you never know. But moving on from there, what do we talk about next? I'm talking about Angela. We're gonna stay on Angela. Angela and her mom comes to visit. And her mom is, telling her that, she has, got another place and that she's moved out of the house and, she just wants to, be on her own and everything. And Angela's feeling away because she needs to address the situation with the daughter and everything and the sister. And she's telling us, the background that her mom is always in the middle of the feud between her and her sister. And that, even when they see eye on the eye, and it seems like the mom leans more on the sister side and I kind of feel like for me, it's because Angela's successful. So you feel like the one child who probably ain't got as much probably needs more defending. But to me, I kind of feel like I hate when parents do this because we saw this with, um, when Escaping SWV had that reality TV show. We saw that with the Scott's mom and how the mom favored Latasha over um, Tamika. Am I saying this right? Or do I have it confused? I feel like that's right. I feel like the mama favored Latasha because she said that she's jealous. Yeah, that's right. Okay, I was questioning my mom. I was like, wait, I know we recapped this on your channel, Mrs. Best. I was like, wait, am I saying this right? But she's giving me that. She's giving me that she's on the sister side more than she's on um, Angela's side. And I don't like that. I don't like parents who do that. I feel like, yes, hear your children out, hear the issues that they have, and then bring them together and see if it can be worked out. But it seemed like the mom was making a whole bunch of excuses for the sister, and I was over it. Well, how did you feel about this scene, Mrs. Best?
Um, Listen, I actually respect her mom for moving out. Once who pays for what and money and stuff like that becomes an issue, most sane people who are self-sufficient will be like, let me just get away from this and care for myself. So I respect her for that. The other reason I respect her for that is because I think in cultures, American culture in general, but especially cultures of color, like we're kind of trained to think that we work hard and then become adults and take care of our parents, and that's not how it's supposed to be. Yeah, you may help them with, getting to an appointment here and there, check in with them, if they're older and can live with you, they may do that, but you're not supposed to be like caring for them when they're able to care for themselves still, in my opinion. So it's good that her mom went and did her own thing. Like James said, I do wish that the mom would have pushed the two together. And her mom, I wish she was a little more apologetic about her part in how Angela's daughter was treated, but I also kind of feel like Angela's only looking into this because of the show. I feel like she understands she needs to show her life and is willing to do that to keep this big check. Because I feel like she is one of those housewives who joined this show to prepare for a divorce.
Interesting. I was sitting here just thinking, like, I never really thought about that. But it wouldn't surprise me nonetheless,
You
because,
don't like her? It's one thing to love your spouse. You can love anybody, right? You can love people and not talk to them. But it's one thing to like the person you're with and enjoy being around them. It
yeah.
doesn't seem like she enjoys or likes being around him. And he makes it very clear that he does not enjoy being around her, and he don't respect her.
Yeah, I can kind of see that too. I can kind of see that. That's a good observation. Good observation. So, um, the next scene we have, we're going to talk about Drew. So, Drew is in the car. She's on the phone with her mom. And she mentions that her mom is what we say almost 80 years old, and that she's on social media and everything, and she is telling her mom on FaceTime that Ralph has changed the codes to her house. Her code did not work, and she's also letting her know that you know, the judgment didn't go in her favor and that they unsealed the documents. And that when they were in court, Ralph did not turn in his financial documents, which he does have a job. She confirmed he does well for himself. Um, they're filing a motion to have her lawyer removed because the lawyer, while this case was going, was starting a new business LLC for Drew to move her assets and business away from the account, which is very sneaky, Drew. But I understand it nonetheless because Ralph wants, I think she said, 40/60 entitlement to her business, that she had before she married him. So, Drew is frustrated and, she's like, I just don't know how much worse this can get. I said, pretty bad. It can get pretty bad, Drew, when you marry somebody like Ralph. But I just felt, hey, that's what we tried to tell you, Drew. We tried to tell you. So, Mr. Best, how did you feel the conversation went with Drew and her mom, and how do you feel about what's going on with their pending divorce?
Drew is 40 years old. I looked it up. She said that her mama is 80 years old. So 40, let's count 50, 60, 70, 80. There's a 40-year age difference between these people. So that would mean that Drew's mom had Drew at on an older age, which is where kids are more at risk of developmental disabilities and some of that. I don't know what's going on with these people, but I don't think that's her mama. I'm gonna say it again. But moving on, Drew. We learned, I think, in a previous episode when Ralph Redman, me and them, that he and Drew got together and got married relatively fast. And a lot of people, there's people I know who got married like a month after knowing each other and are still married. So some people can do it, some people it won't work. But these two got married fast and then added a kid to the mix early on. He says she was pregnant by 8 months. So I feel like Drew rushed into the divorce the same way she rushed into the marriage. And what I mean by that is she had to have known, whether she admitted it or not, that this relationship was going nowhere. She had to have known she was going to want to leave. And she said herself that she was waiting on the right time. She should have prepared, such as moved most of her money and changed her income to other places that he did not know about, or put it into an account that's in your mama name or something. She should have prepared a little better for the divorce. Down to this housing situation, down to the housing situation that's so toxic and is such a bad example for the kids. So that's all I really have to say. Drew should have prepared better. I feel for her and what she's going through. However, comma, you got with this man well after you had attained so much wealth. You had attorneys, you had LLCs. Why would you not protect that going into it? People get married fast all the time and still make sure to get their prenups. So, yeah, I just feel like everyone involved is irresponsible, and I want the divorce to finalize so I can know more of their business. That's it.
Me too, because I'm curious to see what happens. Naya said it's crazy the parallel between Drew and Portia's divorces, and yet instead of bonding and creating an interesting dynamic, we got tears and baby daddy BS. Let me tell y'all something. Portia is not finna let Drew outshine her anything. The same way she's not trying to let Shamia come on this show and outshine her in that aspect of what she really wants.
And they're
Portia
all
wants,
outshining her.
and they all outshine her anyway. Portia wants to be the sole star of the show, and I think that that is the problem. I think the problem is Portia wants to be the one that stands out, be the one that is the center, be the one that has far more things going on that are worse than anybody else could possibly think. And that is, how self centered she is and how much of a problem she really is, because everybody has issues from left to right of this cast. So the fact that you think that yours should stand out the most is absolutely insane. Um, and I think that Dennis,
Especially when she's sharing nothing.
right.
Drew is showing herself in court, showing lawyers. We've gotten a filmed mediation. Portia has only said that she feels betrayed, but can't tell us in what way. They better talk to her about Simon being escorted to court by ICE at this reunion. I want her put under a microscope.
I do too. I want production to open up and show it. I really do. I want them to open up before this reunion is filmed and show it if it's happening, because I think they filmed the reunion on the 6th of June. So I want them to definitely go up and put this in there, because I need to see this shit. I really do. So we have another scene. Speaking of Portia, y'all, Portia meets up with Cynthia and Angela at the bowling alley. And they're bowling and whatever. It was a funny scene because Angela wanted the little guards up, and Portia's like, "No, we can bowl. Like, you be all right." And Portia was winning, so they sit Portia down, and Cynthia mentions that she met with Shamia, so she kind of wanted to get Portia's standpoint, and Portia's like, "Y'all, I'm going through a lot. I'm going through a lot with this divorce and everything that is going on. Just the other night, PJ was in the room, and she said, "Where is my pawpaw?" And I text him again. I said, "Look, PJ want to see you. Where are you?" And he just had us on red. And I just, I got to explain to my baby. I don't want to have to tell her mommy has to work and all this, because she's not used to that. And then here comes Shamia, and I love Shamia. That's my best friend. And I don't want to, go through this with Shamia. I don't want to go through this. I don't want to divorce her too, y'all. This is hard for me. So when you told me what she said, Angela, it just hurt me because I didn't know we had issues. I didn't know we was going through nothing. I thought we were perfect. I need to pick up the phone and call her, but I can't. Now I'm sitting there looking at Portia like,
Why do you keep bringing your kid into this shit? Like, if as quiet as it's kept, and I don't care, every mom on the planet can come for me. That bitch met him while he was married to somebody else, married him within under 3 months or something crazy like that, and then had her young daughter living with this unknown man. I don't give a damn if he had kids with somebody else. I don't care about that. What parent is gonna force their kid to live with a nigga they just met? Why your baby got to get to know him with you? Why can't you know him well enough and facilitate him getting to know your baby? So Portia is crying about all of this, still trying to blame Simon. And it's like, be accountable as a mom, my nigga. That's on you. That's on you. Because in real time, if you would have waited to get married to figure out if it was going to work out and be forever, that's looking out for yourself and your kid. Because then you prevent your kid from having to have multiple stepdaddies. Come on now, that don't make no type of sense. So I'm getting tired of Portia trying to use PJ as a way to get empathy from other people. That's foul. Leave your kid out of it. If you can't speak about Simon, don't you can't speak about Simon. But she can, that's a loophole, speak about Simon if it relates to her daughter and the relationship the daughter has. Because that's not part of the gag order. So I feel like she's using her daughter as a way to get at him. And I'm sick of it. Don't use the fucking kid as a way to get back at other people or make yourself feel better. I don't give a fuck if she came out your cootie cat or not. So I'm annoyed with Portia for that, James. I'm really annoyed with her, and that's all I'll
I
say.
was annoyed with Portia because it was like, so you're trying to make an excuse of using your daughter and using the fact that you're going through this divorce as a way to say that you can't really try to mend things with your best friend when you listened to Angela say something, and the immediate thing you should have done was call Shami and say, "Hey, what's going on? I just got done talking with Angela, and she said that you had mentioned something." And that probably would have opened the segue for Shami to be like, "Yeah, you were playing in my face when it came to my song. You knew that was me. I don't know why you sitting up there trying to make it seem like it wasn't me, and it just came off very haterish, like it did on TV. It was very haterish." So I just feel like, to me, once again, Portia's real issue with Shamia is that she didn't think Shamia was going to come on this show and be the center. She thought Shamia was going to be her flunky against the other women, which she is. I don't understand what Portia's not seeing about this. Shamia is 100% doing what she's always done in the prior seasons when she was just a friend of the show. Have Portia's back, fight Portia's battles, call people out on behalf of Portia, ask people questions on behalf of Portia. That's what Shamia has been doing. So I don't know what Portia's not seeing. Shamia's doing exactly what everyone's accusing her of being the lapdog, being the one that is fighting on your behalf, being the one
Portia
that's
doesn't
supporting
see
you.
it because she doesn't see anything as negative that benefits her.
Mm,
So she's not, if we look at it from her perspective, it's like, what's the problem? Because that's what she expects of her friends. She's one of those people who expects her friends to do too much for her versus hold her accountable.
makes sense. Makes sense. Because I was trying to figure that out for the longest. I'm like, she's doing exactly what she's always done. So what the fuck is your problem? So, hey, I see it now. Thank you, Mrs. Best, for shedding light on that. I see it. So that happened on that scene. We had a bit of a mixed scene. We had Shamia, trying to choose her single. She had her family there. She was telling them that she wished Portia could be here, to help her out. And the family's all like, well, we just all you can do is pray. Like, her mom really was trying to not go into detail, and I wish her mom did. Like, I wish y'all fuck Portia and Diane and all that shit. Go into detail. I need your point of view. I need to know what happened. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
Diane been looking for a check for years, James. She'll sue them.
Sue them for what? That's her part of the
She'll
story.
find a reason or a way. She will. And Portia and her mom give the type. They seem like that type. They just do.
Mm, okay. So yeah, you probably got a point there. Yeah, you probably have a point. So we then go to another scene with Drew. Drew has her mom actually in town this time, and she's talking to her mom about this whole situation. You know, with Ralph and how hard it is. And a mom just can't believe a judge would actually decide for them to be in the same house, which I agree with. And I've been saying this from the beginning. Like, I want to meet this judge. I want to see the video recordings of this case where a judge actually sat both of them down and say, yes, y'all are going to live in the house together for the sake of your children while we get this figured out.
Or you watch them argue over literally everything. And like, you got one person who still hasn't shared financials. I've never heard of a divorce where someone's just not sharing financials unless there's like an ironclad prenup that's being enforced. And even then, people still be sharing the financials, but they'll say, I'm sorry, according to this prenup, you don't get none of it.
Exactly. Exactly. And I just feel like, what are we not seeing? What is not being shown? What are y'all not opening up about? Because there's obviously something missing here. Obviously something missing here. That is crazy. They're trying to split the marriage. Why would you be forced to stay? Exactly. Like, I'm trying to figure out if these people got money the way they say they got money, if these people are successful and can afford to get a place outside of this home, why are they not doing so? Why would Ralph be constricted to the basement and Drew have the rest of the house, knowing that there is tension between the two of them? So you
Honestly, I feel like Ralph had the credit and the ability to find a house that was what they would view as luxury, but maybe not as expensive, but still expensive. I feel like he had the credit and Drew had the cash.
mm,
That's the only thing that would make sense because if that's the case, then he's probably being listed first on things such as utilities, mortgage, insurance. He's probably listed on many of the things that count, and that could be why he don't want to just leave. Cause he seemed like the petty type of nigga that'll be like, "I'll leave, but I want my name off everything, and I ain't paying for shit up in there." He
well then
seems like the type that would do that.
that would be fine. Because or if that's the case, why the judge didn't tell Drew to get her ass out?
That's the thing. Drew probably put the cash on hand that she had available into this house, and now the house is her only asset, but she shares it with him. It's giving that there's an issue with like the names of things. So I have to put myself in the situation and think like being married, right? Especially being married for some time, you have to think like you don't always put everything in both of your names. There's some things that go in just their name. There's some things that go in your name. Like for instance, our electricity ain't my name. It's just not, right? So if we were to split and then they leave me here, but the electricity in his name, and I got to call him every time I got to call PG&E, I don't know if that could be an issue. Either way, I think it's telling that neither party is willing to leave. It shows that for both of them, the materialism mattered more than the love. So I look at both of them with a side eye.
I agree. That is the best way to put it because to me, it does not make sense. Like the mama said, it does not make sense for y'all to be in the same house and y'all are going through this divorce, adding on to the tension between the two, where you guys
Especially
can't
when she
properly
got
coexist.
family. Go to
Yes.
your mama house. Go to,
Her
go
mama
to
live in Chicago. Her
Allison's.
mama's not here.
I know, but you from Chicago. You got a song on your album called Chicago Slide. Slide your black ass to Chicago for some time. Or since Allison was living with you anyway, and you said Allison had this great career in film, and that's how you got in the industry, I'm sure Allison can find a job if she want a job. Partner up, live with your sister since she already your sister mama, but live with
I
her
was gonna
so
say.
that you could have your free babysitter, the kids' grandmama and auntie all in one house. Why not? Like Drew is definitely not
There's no
telling us
way. Like,
something.
there's no way I would be in the same house. There's just no way. Like,
And then you hear it's affecting your kids. If she don't tell us at the reunion after crying about how her children are out of control, as her mama said, and impacted, then I'm a side eye Drew and I'm gonna say that's why the fuck you was friends with Portia. Because what the hell is this? You know your kids are impacted, so you keep them in a toxic environment. That's not smart.
it's not smart. It's not conducive to their health. It's not doing them any favors, Drew. It's not. It's making them feel like at any point this could go haywire and then our stability of stableness is now in question. It is really ridiculous that y'all are in this situation. As the mom says, she tried to, talked her out. She said that, she hates that this is going on. She said the children don't listen to her anymore. She says it's in haywire. And Drew says she didn't realize how much this divorce has an effect and how her kids are affected behind this. And they say, yeah, because y'all are in the same fucking house. So you're both frustrated with each other. It's like, oh my God, I can't with Drew, y'all. I tried. I can't because Drew is full of shit. No matter how we tried to spin this, how we try to make it seem like it's, you know, different, but it's not different. Drew is full of shit. And the
Yep.
more she's on this TV screen, the more that we, you know, see this, the more it seeps out. There's something she's not telling. And I wish she would just put it out because then we, as the fans of the show who are lost and confused, we would be able to understand it better. Either y'all are broke and this is the only way y'all can stay and have a roof over your head is if y'all stay in this house. If she would have said that, then I probably wouldn't be as
We
mad.
could have respected her. We could have, because honestly, I hate to use her as an example. When Portia and Cordell divorced, Portia didn't have shit. She couldn't even afford her own apartment or nothing. She went to Miss Diane's house.
Yeah,
And we watched her see for a couple of seasons rebuild her her life to where she could be self-sufficient again. And then we watched her become financially stable, and then we watched her attain much of the wealth she had individually, separate from Simon and all of that. But at the very least, like, yeah, she's always been a gold digger, but when she didn't have the man to care for her, she got up off her ass and figured out how to care for herself.
yeah,
So if Drew would admit that, especially coming on the show your first season, this man was doing that Tampa bullshit, people would support her 10 times over. People would buy her music intentionally, be streaming her just to hope that something gets to her. But the way she moves, all the lies she tells, the half truths, it's not helpful. Get fired from the show, Drew, so you can lose your income and get some alimony, girl. Shit.
do something. Because
Swim, girl. Kick and swim.
this ain't it. This ain't it at all, baby. This is terrible. It's terrible, terrible, terrible. But Drew, we wish you the best. So nonetheless, we wish you the best. We hope everything works out. We hope everything comes to fruition for you. But baby, nah, this is terrible. I'm just saying, this just is. What else happened before I get to that? I think that was it. We can go ahead and move on to the final scene. Because I'm not talking about Brit and that little bullshit with her husband. I'm not gonna do that. They went to a wedding. Whoop de doo.
Thank
Anyways,
you. Thank you so much.
yeah, because I don't care about that. We get to the final scene of Shamia and Portia meeting up at a restaurant. And Shamia just, lays it out. She wants to talk to Portia about, the friction in their friendship and where it went left. And, Portia is really not there. She's vacant in the face. She's giving Shamia this stone cold look. And, as Shamia was, telling her the issues, I cannot believe you, would listen to the ladies about, them saying any bad words about me to you and everything. And then she said, like, the thing about my song, I did feel a way about that and everything. And Portia goes, Shamia, I didn't think we had an issue like this. I didn't know that you felt this way. And it's like, Portia, that has nothing to do with what she's talking about. Shamia wants you to feel her, to see her, to really understand her as your best friend, that she had a problem with how you are treating her. Portia was all like, Shamia, I can't believe you would do this for the show. Shamia, come on, this is not. And it was like just completely invalidating Shamia. And Shamia felt it. She was all like, so you're just going to just completely dismiss my feelings. You're going to completely dismiss like how I feel and everything. I'm trying to get you to understand me. I'm trying to get you to hear me. And Portia's like, not on camera, Shamia, not on camera. She goes, well, I wish I had the Portia off camera that I do on camera because this situation is now here. And she goes, oh my gosh, Shamia, like, what do you want me to do? And Portia starts sobbing. Shamia, I just can't do this, Shamia. Why you do this to me, Shamia? So she gets up and walks off and goes to the bathroom, collects herself. You are strong. You're going to get it. You're going to get it. You are strong, Portia. Hang in there, Portia. You're going to get it. And then she comes back to the table and she tells the waitress, can we get our food to go? And Shamia's all like, so you're not trying to eat? Like, we're done? She goes, "Oh no, you just were quiet." She says, "I'm quiet because you had to excuse yourself from the table and you told me to stop speaking because I was hurting you. So I stopped speaking and did exactly what you asked me to do." And she goes, "Shamia, look, I want to work on our friendship. I want to be there for you. I need you. You are my best friend. Like, I don't want anything to come. Like, give me your hand, Shamia. Give me your hand. I love you, Shamia, and you know I would do anything for you. I hate that we are in this place because out of anybody here, you mean the most to me, Shamia. You do, Shamia." And Shamia gives in like she always do. "Yeah, Portia, I know you love me. I know this is, you know I love you, Portia. This is it. Come over and give me a hug, Portia." And so they hug, and Portia just give it. And I saw the face Portia made when she. I wish I'd have caught a picture of it. Portia, you ain't shit. You ain't shit, Portia. I see you. Oh my god. So they make amends, they make up, and and Portia like, "Shamia, if you have a problem, just next time call me. That's all." This is the comment right here. It was embarrassing. It was embarrassing because for me, it's like, Shamia, how many more times is this lady gonna play in your face? Because she just completely took the spotlight from you and what you felt, made it about her, sugarfooted your emotions to where you can't even have them anymore, and then made it about her and what you did to her and apologized and made it feel like, oh, it was nothing. Shamia, she just completely invalidated you. She just made you feel like your feelings of what you felt was not important by her sobbing, crying, walking away, and then coming back and then telling you what you need to hear in order to have you feel somewhat of a comfortability to say, okay, then maybe what I feeling wasn't that big of a deal. We're good, Portia. This is it right here. She completely manipulated the situation in her favor. And I feel like this is an example of what she does when you and her are on the outs. She completely takes away whatever you could be feeling that may be valid and turns it around and makes it to where you're in the wrong and she's in the right. She's now the victim. And now you can completely feel like the asshole. And now you need to apologize too because you didn't have shit to apologize for. How you feel is how you feel. Now, if you want to apologize for bringing it to Angela and Britt, fine. Fine. But I don't feel like you owed Portia shit. And the fact that you apologized to and completely fell for that manipulation, Shamia, I'm sorry. I see the fault more in you than I do in Portia. Because there's no way Portia could do that to me. I mean, I see it from a mile away. I understand you love Portia. I understand that has been your friend since you was a baby, but we're adults now. That shit we did with kids, that's where we leave it. Shamia, you should know better than this. This is crazy. Mrs. Best, what you have to say about the thing? Because I'm getting pissed.
I agree. This is why people don't like Shamia, and the way that she's handling this is stupid. Listen, in real life, people do what we allow them to do to us. If we allow people to treat us well, then those who want to treat us well will. If we allow people to mistreat us, to gaslight us, to manipulate us, then they're going to do it because they know that they can get away with it and get a result that suits them. Shamia has allowed Portia to behave this way. And in some ways, I think Shamia brought up the beef between Portia and her mom because I feel like Shamia's mom may have told her a little bit too much about it or something. And maybe she feels like she needs to be friends with Portia or prove a point about her family. Whatever it is, if you go hard for someone and they never match that same energy with you ever, not even in the moments where it's appropriate, then you stop going hard for that someone. You do. That's something I had to learn later in life, like as in now with my own personal friendships. James to tell y'all, I have a friend that probably shouldn't have been friends with, probably shouldn't be friends with still to this day. And so I'm slowly placing boundaries and slowly detaching. It's hard to do, but it's even harder when you have the public on your ass. And I do like Shamia, but Shamia has a great life. It seems like she wants to be a good person. Sometimes people from our past can keep us behaving like the old us, and I feel like with Portia, that's the case. But Shamia is going to continue to have this problem with people until she's accountable within herself. Because how you gonna wish the girl a happy birthday one day, Portia, and then 2 days later you watch the episode that had already been aired at the time of the birthday wish, and now you mad? So I see what Portia's doing. Portia's not as dumb as she wants us all to think. She's definitely good at manipulating people emotionally and gaslighting them. And I feel like that post we saw the other day was a piece of it. But Shamia, you rich as hell. If you don't detach and move on, now you got so much money that Portia would hope to hang out with you. Please recognize that.
I need her to recognize something because, as I said, Portia couldn't play in my face this much. Like, I'd be damned if Portia played in my face the way she playing Shamia face. Because Portia playing Shamia face like it's like the thing, like it's an Olympic sport. And I just cannot, as I said, it's just I just don't.
Portia's horrible though. That was the nastiest, most passive aggressive behavior. If that wasn't somebody like Shamia, or if that wasn't someone that she had known as long as she knew Shamia, like if that was me, she did that to, I would have popped her in her face, right in her bottom lip, just the bottom one. I would have, because who the fuck do you think you're doing? That's the most offensive thing you could do to someone and
Yes,
disrespectful
it
is
was
to
kind of
toy with
like,
their mind.
right, was I watching what I was watching? Like, I was questioning myself. I'm like, wait, am I actually seeing this like right here in my face? Like, ma'am, how dare you? Like, and to be the fact that Shamia is on this, not watch what happens live at the after show, up here crying over Portia, crying about the. This is how you know she really do love Portia. She really do. She love her some Portia, like she can't help it. But I'm sorry, there's only so many times you finna play in my face. Like it was just like I was mad. Like I was watching this scene, like I know this did not happen the way this just happened. Like
When
this
she
is
was knocking that silverware around, every
yes.
time
I was
Shamia would
like,
express how she felt, anything that where Shamia just could not look wrong, that's where Portia started to do extra stuff. And then to get up while someone is expressing themselves at like the moment where they're starting to get emotional to excuse yourself as if you've gone through something was just bullshit. So I don't know. Shamia swear that's her friend, but listen, birds of a feather flock together, but then at the same time, we are our parents. And look how Miss Diane allegedly, you know, dropped Shamia's mom or however the hell that went. So mm-mm. I don't see resolution.
I don't see it either. I don't see resolution. I don't see I don't see anything in favor of this situation. I feel like it's a lost cause. I feel like
Yeah,
Shamila just needs to, cut
too
her
much has
losses.
happened.
Yeah, just like cut your losses and go.
Because
Because
even so, Portia's expecting basically what she's saying is she's expecting Shamia to allow her to be a shit friend because she's going through a hard time. This is already her second marriage. There's likely going to be a third, or what happens as you get older, your friends, people in your life start passing, things like that. So every time she goes through something hard, she's going to get a pass to be a shitty friend. Like, there's nowhere they can go from here.
no, there is nowhere they can go from here. It's like, I y'all, I'm telling y'all, I'm just like Naya said, it is triggering because you playing in people's faces like this and you treating that girl as if she really did something wrong to you is crazy. Like this did not make Portia look good at all. Y'all, this made Portia look crazy. It really did. And Shamia, I want better for you. I really do, because you deserve better. You deserve a better friend. You deserve a friend that's going to show up for you and is not going to play in your face or make you feel like in any shape, way, or form you're not enough to be her friend. Because that's what Portia is doing to you when you are enough. So it's crazy to me. It's crazy to me that you let her do that. It's crazy to me that you didn't get up and walk away from the table and get in your car and go, because that's what I would have done. I would have said, "You're not gonna play in my face. You're not gonna, she cares about this friendship more than Portia cares, and that's obvious." But I would have left. If this was me in this situation, and I'm trying to pour my heart out to you, and you sit up there and you made this about you, I would have got up and left. I would have paid the bill, and I said, "You know what?
Portia probably threw her success in Shamia's face, especially with Shamia being so close to success so many times. I feel like she probably kind of was that friend that gloated a lot, like Anthony on Love and Marriage Detroit or
Mhm.
something. And I feel like because of that, Portia's ego won't allow her for once to be the friend that's, wealthy, but maybe not filthy, stinking rich like Shamia is, or and it's sad that Portia, because I really believe she's jealous of Shamia because she's got the rich husband and all of that. And it's sad. It's really, really sad to see because it's like, Portia, if you really paid attention, like you said, your friend is rich because of her husband, not because of herself. So they really still kind of the same in a lot of ways. But I don't know. That's why materialism kills things.
It does, and I don't know. I just feel like I just hated this scene. I hated the way this made Shamia look. I hated the way that she allowed Portia just to completely manipulate her right in front of public television. Like, it's crazy. So I'm praying that Shamia by this reunion time, because I want this situation with Portia bringing up Shamia talking about her mom. I want that brought up at the reunion, Andy. Do not let this go by. We need this to be addressed at the reunion. Because right now, Portia's saying she doesn't want to speak to Shamia. She has no desire to. That's what she said recently.
Because she
So,
don't look bad.
yeah.
And she knows that. And speaking to Shamia forces her to be accountable. So she'll never speak. That's why I say they done.
And Shamia, let this be a lesson to you. Don't let nobody play in your face like this. I know you have a huge heart, and I know that you want people to always love you, but everybody ain't going to like you. And you got to just deal with that. And people are always going to have some type of envy with green with you, and I think that that is Portia. I think Portia is mad that she married the wrong African. I think she's mad that she's in this situation that she's in, and that she didn't get the life that you living at Sterling Hall with your 10-bedroom house and elevators and shit. I think that Portia is mad that that is not her life that she thought she was going to get, and the fact that you have it is a reminder that she does not have it. And I think that that's why she downplays you and plays in your face the way she does on this show. It's to make you feel lower than she feels right now. And that's fucked up if that's your best friend. That's all I'm going to say, y'all. That's it. That was all of the video. That was Real Housewives of Atlanta. Mrs. Best, is there anything else you want to add?
No, sir.
All right. Well, we thank you guys. We will be on Mrs. Best channel tomorrow for Never Ever Mets. And does Basketball Wives come on tonight?
Yes.
Okay, and for Basketball Wives. So I have 2 shows to watch, and Somebody's Son, y'all. I'm gonna try to get that done as quickly as I can. It was a very interesting episode from what I'm hearing, so I will definitely try to get that done for y'all. But thank you guys for being here. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you, Naya. Thank you, Shana, for being here. We appreciate you, and you guys have a great one. Bye bye.